What's up, everybody? Keith again. Getting ready to tear into the car a little bit here. I had a great idea. I think maybe we should test out how much weight a set of plastic sawhorses can handle. So I've got this very ugly 8.8 that needs to be not so ugly and under the car. In the right way, not the way it's sitting now. So I was kind of thinking maybe I should get this thing picked up and put on the sawhorse and hit it with a wire wheel for a little bit and clean it up a little bit. See what happens. Okay, so instead of testing it to see if it held or whatever, I just decided to send it, and it holds. This 8.8 is probably like close to 200 pounds, I bet. Maybe not. Maybe it's a little less. But it's heavy as shit. So if you can't pick it up, don't do something stupid. Use your engine lift like I didn't do. It was easier for me just to pick it up. I can pick it up. It's all right. Anyway, I'm going to work on taking some of this crap off. As you see, like I said, I was missing the rear chunk. I'm going to get one. Let's see how many splines we have on this pinion. I can count them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Is that correct? Let's count it one more again. Start over here where this mark is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. A 13 tooth pinion. So whatever ring gear we get with that, we'll count the teeth on that. We'll divide this number into that number, and that'll tell us our gear ratio. I'm heading to the junkyard Saturday. We will count teeth on every gear and put it in the calculator, see what number we come up with. Been doing a little research. I know that F-150s came with 373s in a couple different years. Unless you got a 9-inch, you got something odd. So difference is a 9-inch has 12 bolts, this has 10, and it's in more of a square. And a 9-inch is, kind of round. And a 7.5 is in more of an oval, So, anyway, I'm going to take this apart a little more. Get this, whatever we don't need off. These axles are gone. I'm also going to count the splines here, make sure I do have 31 splines. That way I know. There's only one way to know for sure, and that's to count. So, anyway, handle this, and I'll be back after that. All right, let's quickly clear up some misinformation. On the right is one of the Moser axles that I've already purchased from another guy. Really cool dude. See it there. Moser Engineering street axles. These are 8.8, 31 splines that I bought. As you can see on the right, this is a much more beefy axle. Let it not fool you. It is much larger than it looks. At least 15% bigger. Also a larger spline count. These are 31 and these are 28. We're not using 28s. There's nothing wrong with a 28. 28 will handle like a solid 500-600 horsepower. And don't tell me they won't, because I've already seen it. But these 31s are rock solid. So anyway, just wanted to do that real quick to see if everything lined up and stuff, and it does. So, continue the tear down here, and we'll be back. All right, everyone. Tore all the dumb stuff off. Now we're going to go around, hit it with the wire wheel for the next while. See if we can just clean it up some. I'm not expecting this thing to be a beauty queen. I just want to clean it up a little, knock the rust off, and get some primer on it. As you see, it's got grease on it. That's the rear end. What do you expect? Anyway. Tear through it here. We'll be back. Okay, so after 10 minutes, you can see I've done this. Really smooth. Looks a little rough, but it's very smooth. I mean, it's come a long way. It's a little more difficult over here with all this crap. However, the difference on this side. Rusty, grimy, dingy. Not as rusty, grimy, or dingy. This took about 10 minutes. I'm going to keep plugging away. Just figured I'd show you what was going on, and we'll be back again. All right, hate to ruin the party, but all my batteries died. I have a big, awesome hardcore drill that's powered with 120, but that thing's a little dangerous with those wire wheels. So I'm gonna wait, let the batteries charge up. I might come back at this again tonight, but it's really friggin' nasty, and there's a shit ton of flying off this thing. So I may just wait. There's no rush. I can pick back up on this tomorrow. No big deal. Anyway, I may come back, may not. If I do, we'll see you guys then. What's up, y'all? So I had a minute and I was close to the junkyard, so I decided I'd ride by real quick, see if I could find anything of use. I need a rear end gear, a starter, and an alternator, and a half dozen other things. So I'm scrounging around now to see if I can find a D2 axle, which is a 410 limited slip, or a D4 axle, which is a 373 limited slip. Both of those are in Explorers. I'm kind of pillaging Explorers now. This one's got the 45 axle, which is like a 327 or some shit like that. Anyway, if I find anything, I'm coming back. Alright, for anybody wondering, if you'll see right here, it says axle code D4. You can do a quick Google check and find out that axle code D4 is a Ford Explorer, whatever generation this is, 8.8 with a 373 locker in it, which is pretty cool. It's got a track lock thing in it. It's not really a locker. It's more like a spring that goes in the gears that kind of pushes open, and holds them open, and makes your wheels like, but whatever, it still works. So, for certain, that thing has a 373 limited slip in it. So I'm going to remember where this is at, because I'm coming back Saturday with KJ, and we're going to see if we can't get us a damn gear. Now I need to find some Chevy trucks to see if I can get an alternator and a starter, but I'm telling you, I only seen 2 or 3, and they were picked clean as hell. So, we'll be back. Well, this is just sad. Jesus, how fast were they going? In a 4-banger. Fucking hell. This poor old fox didn't make it. Jeez. Oh well. I bent the shit out of that thing. They hit something hard. I already checked on this one. It's a another D4 axle, which is 373 limited slip. That's great for someone who wants a 373. But that one's a little more difficult to get to. The other one's kind of sitting out in the open. And I'm going to go in here in a minute and see if they'll come out and pick the thing up with a lift and I can get to it easier. Here's another one. This one's crushed. Let me see what's in there. Ooh, there's a fox over there too. Looks like death. We'll see. Guess what? Another 373. But we don't need that, so we keep looking. Now here's a Expedition. It's actually got a 373 locker in it. And there's another Explorer here. A lot of D4 codes. A lot of 373s. So if I really want a 373, they got like 13 of them here. Let's see how. Ah, yes. That is a D2, folks. That means that this, which is laying on the fucking ground, is a 410 inside there. So that bitch is getting took out. ASAP. I have to get somebody to come lift it up for me, because it ain't coming out like that. So I'm gonna go talk to them real quick and see what they say. Alright, well that was super successful. I talked to a chick at the counter. Saturday they're gonna have a dude here who can run the loader. He's gonna pick the car up for me so I can get the gear out, and he's gonna put it back down after he's done, for a grand total of $60 freaking. Hell to the yeah. A locking 410 for 60 bucks. Holy shit. That's a score if I've ever seen one. So, we are going to get back here on Saturday morning. Me and KJ are going to tear into it. Hopefully the bugs don't freak him out too much. Mosquitoes are terrible at the junkyard. 90 degrees out here. Just the way it is. So, anyway, head back to the house. Maybe we'll work on the rear end a little bit tonight. See you then. Hey folks. Back again. Took a night off. I don't usually do that. No more nights off. So let's get that 8.8 cleaned up. Get a coat of paint on it, because tomorrow we're going to the junkyard again. Okay, so real quick, I did some research, And after talking to the guy I got this axle from, I found out it's not actually an SN95 axle. It's actually a 8.8 from a turbo coupe Thunderbird. Alright, so it was a 2-year only car that had 4-lug with rear discs. I thought it was a little odd that I had an SN95 axle with 4-lug because they don't make those. So when I pulled out the axles and saw they were 28 spline, got to thinking and what could it be? Well, they have these 1-year only axles. Alright, so you can see the length difference here. It's a solid maybe inch difference. Alright, it doesn't really matter to me about the inch difference because it looks like the flanges down here that actually go on the axle have plenty of room for them to fit into the seals. What I got to thinking about was, will the brakes work? And I don't think the calipers are going to go over the rotors like they're supposed to with the axles sticking out a different length. So, just something to think about when you're looking for an 8.8. If you want the rear discs and you want like a Thunderbird coupe, turbo coupe, rear end, it's a little different. You're going to have to stick with 28 splines and not use these Mosers, or get Moser 28 splines. They'll be about roughly the strength of Explorer 31 splines, which are still plenty strong. There's guys online using those with, 800, 900 horsepower, and they hold. Is it ideal? Probably not, but it'll work. So anyway, time to clean this thing up some more. Alright, so I hit this thing with multiple wire wheels, a whole bunch, and knocked off a shit ton of crud. I probably didn't get it all. Okay, who cares? It's going to be under the car. I just wanted it to look a little better than it did. Get as much crud off as I could. And I'm going to tell you what, I got a shit ton of crud off of it. There's stuff everywhere. So I'm going to get a can of primer. First, I'm going to spray this off with some air. I'll wipe it down with carb cleaner. Just get all the stuff off that I can. Then we'll shoot a coat of primer on it. Let it sit. I'm going to start working on some other stuff once I get some primer on it. I've also got some primer on the coil springs in here, and I'm going to shoot them with some paint too. And then we'll be just about ready to drop the gear set in when I get it from the junkyard. But we got plenty of other stuff we can do on this thing. We got this control arms to put in back there too. We can work on that. So we'll be back. One more thing. This pinion is a 13-tooth pinion, so there's not really a combination with this pinion that makes up 410. Okay, like it goes 327 and 355. Not what I want. So I gotta take this pinion out, only I don't have a 1 16th inch socket. Biggest I got is 24 millimeter. And then I got some other humongous sockets over here, but they're nothing close to what this is. So I got a couple pipe wrenches over there. I'm gonna try to just make it work. I might put a couple bolts in here and put a big pry bar and try to maybe take it off. Shit, I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna try and see what happens. Okay, so via a pipe wrench and a breaker bar or crowbar, I was able to put a couple of bolts through the flange, run a breaker bar through those bolts, hold it still, use a pipe wrench to take that nut off with, or bust it loose anyway. Once I busted it loose, I just used that adjustable wrench and slowly took the nut off. A couple smacks with a hammer and this pinion comes out. You got to be ready because this bitch weighs about 10 pounds. Anyway, the bearings look perfectly fine. The crush ring, focus. There we go. You see it's perfectly fine. All these splines look perfectly fine. So this rear end was never really abused. I just had a 4-cylinder in it anyway, so it wasn't going to hurt anything. Anyway, I'm going to reuse some of this stuff. I'm going to reuse this crush ring. And there's a spacer in here. I'm going to take it out and reuse it also because the depth of this pinion was already set and ready for me. And these bearing races look okay to me also. Let me set this pinion down and I'll look a little better here. Thing's freaking heavy. Alright. Yeah, absolutely no pitting no grooves in the bearing race there at all. The bearing race is a sleeve that you hammer in. It's just a very thin metal sleeve that wraps around the outside or the inside of that bearing hole there. There's one on the other side also. But that bearing on the pinion rides on that bearing race. It can wear out. This one looks perfectly fine. This bearing moves really well. I'm not worried about that at all. It didn't leak any grease. It wasn't leaking grease when I got it either, which is awesome. So I'm going to give this a little cleaning. I'm going to spray it with some brake clean out what's left of it. Then I'm going to wipe down the entire axle with some brake clean and degreaser, and then we're going to shoot it with some paint. This bitch is ready to come in tomorrow. I also need to make sure I mark these really well. They only go on one way and only go on one side. So anyway, we'll do more of that tomorrow. Well, got a little paint on it here. Almost ran out of primer. Almost. But got just enough on it. Went ahead and laid a good heavy coat of black. Rust-Oleum large protect size. Whatever. It's gloss black. Thought that looked like a good color for the rear end. I'm going to go over it again when it dries. I can't get the bottom side because clearly I'm sitting on these mega sawhorses here. Once I get it somewhat dry, we'll roll it over, paint the other side. You know how to spray paint. Come on, if you don't know how to spray paint, what did you do as a kid? Anyway, got the springs painted in here too. These are metallic silver. And they look tits. Look at that. Tits. Ah, all right. Well, anyway, got a little work done here. We'll let the paint dry. We'll hit it with another coat. I'm going to fiddle around on the back end back here till then. Okay, so I got the factory lower control arm, factory upper control arm, UPR upper, UPR lower. Gonna shoot them on the scale here, see what the weight differences are. Start with this lower. There's a calibration here. Nothing yet. Occasionally the scale does this. Just got to give it a couple tries. .4, and the UPR joint, which feels lighter. I don't know, maybe a pound or two. Not much. Give it a second here. I messed that up. Bounced around. Exact same weight. Alright. I guarantee you this upper factory is lighter because it just feels lighter in my hand. So light it doesn't even register. Well, that didn't do anything, did it? Tell you what, let's put them both on there and we'll just take 6.4 off. Whatever it weighs. There you go, so 2.8. Let's see what this UPR mess looks like. Same thing, won't work. Bet you it's the exact same weight. Oh my God. Gotta love digital scales, huh? Alright, 9.2, that is 2.8. Same thing, so they don't really weigh any less, but they are much, much stronger. The bushings are much better. Check out this awesome factory bushing right here. How tits is that? I can almost take it out. Super fucked. Well, no biggie. Let's go put these new ones in. It's just 2 bolts to hold it in. It's not that rocket science, y'all. In a previous video, I'll link it up here. I did the rear suspension takeout. It's simple. It's just 2 bolts. I believe one side's 18 millimeter, the other side is 19 millimeter. Why the fuck would you do that? But whatever. Anyway, let's get them on. Okay, I'm going to try to record this. I don't have the greatest lighting, and I'm under the car, so you can't see too bad. Alright, let me start with this upper here. It's a little easier to put on than the lower. Fairly simple. Ooh, a socket. Didn't even know that was under here. Alright. The bushings are much, much tighter here, so it takes a little effort to get them in the spot it even needs to go in. Oh yeah. After shooting this with some blaster, it went together way easier than it came apart. Alright. Got my wrench here. I'll grab a ratchet real quick. Alright. I used a torque wrench to break these loose. That's how tight they were. The lower was almost seized, not quite. And yes, this shock is right in my face. But whatever, just gonna send it. I'm gonna try to get this one to the right strength, type, torque spec, blah blah blah. Because I want it to go right in place when I put this rear end under tomorrow. And I don't think I need to do this one twice. That's pretty freaking tight, y'all. Oh yeah, that's pretty tight. That's gonna do. Alright, let's do this lower. Pretty simple, y'all. Nothing fancy about it. That's kind of what I like about this. It doesn't have any bells and whistles. No adjustability, no blah blah blah. Just goes together. And that makes me happy. You can also see how in good a shape these torque boxes are here. And they've never even been touched. That thing looks perfect up there. Not a dent on it. A lot of times these torque boxes twist and bend and stuff. This one has not had that issue at all. Again, just a little 4-cylinder car. Didn't really make much power, so still gonna get torque box reinforcements later, but that's later. Almost. There it goes. Oh yeah. One single nut on the back. 18 millimeter on this side. 19 on this side. See, I kind of wish I had some fancy tools, but this works just fine. This kind of proves that you don't need it. Just gotta take your time and do it. It's not gonna fix itself. There it goes. Pretty tight. Yep. All right. Now we will repeat that on the other side, but I'm not going to do that one on camera because there's no sense in it. So we'll do it all again. Only over there this time. We'll be back. So I'm actually not going to do the other side. Dude, it's already almost 2 in the morning. I've been up since 5:30. So we're almost at a full 24 hours. So we'll come back to it tomorrow. It's just a couple bolts to get them off. However, I still need time to upload this video, edit, take a shower, put this shit back in here like it needs to be. It's a lot of work. So this doesn't depress me. This makes me happy. That other shit depresses me. So tell you what, we'll get a fresh start in the morning, reload, and get back after it. I'll link up some videos of here, how much all this stuff weighed. Also, I want to get a video of the weight savings. I've written down everything as far as what I've saved, weight-wise, what I've spent money-wise. And we'll go over that and make sure everyone knows that I'm being straight up on how much I spent on this thing. It's a budget build. Budget. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, share. Down there will be a PayPal if anybody wants to donate. I don't expect anything unless you want to. Anyway, see you guys tomorrow. Peace.